Hi. So the last interesting project that I worked on was for a friend who works at a biotechnology laboratory in Germany. They deal with cardiac cells, cells with a heart-like tendency, who beat over a regular period of time, as you can see in this video. And they capture videos of these individual cells, and their task is to count the number of beats that they see in a video frame and calculate beats per minute from that and stuff like that. And right now it's done manually. A scientist actually sits down with one of those clicker things, watches the video and clicks for the number of beats. Now these videos can be anywhere between 10 seconds to a minute long, and as you can imagine, that's a huge waste of a postgrad or a PhD student's time. So my first reaction was, got this has got to be automatable. They deal with several dozens of these videos every day. So I set about trying to do that, with the primary problem being that I had no experience with image processing or computer vision or anything of that sort. So I set out to solve this problem with the simplest image processing that I could, Google and learn on the fly, and math, using math. So I tried to look for what would most simply allow me to analyze a video frame by frame. I was able to find some libraries, and I used OpenCV, of course. Uh, I would use a function to split the video into individual frames, and then I found a function which would let me find the difference between two images. So what I did was I split the video into individual frames and then calculated the difference between each two frames, with the logic that when there's motion, the cell is rapidly moving, the difference between two subsequent frames is going to be large, and when the cell is still, the two subsequent frames are going to be identical, so I'm going to get a flat plane. So that did happen. I was able to get a sort of a frequency curve, but I realized that the graph was very jagged because the frame rate is kind of high. So even in portions with motion, not every individual frame has motion in it. So I took a 7-member moving average to sort of smoothen the curve a little, and I was able to generate graphs like these. Now these graphs are generated from a previous iteration of the program. The final one that was given to the user does not have them, because I wanted to design it in a very zero user intervention sort of manner. So I was able to get graphs like these for the three videos that we've seen on the screen right now. So with that, after this, it was like simple math, simple calculation of the spikes in front. But essentially, what we are calculating is this flat area here, because these are the areas with no motion. So after that, I packaged it in a manner that would need no user intention, because this program is slow, like splitting a video into like 24 images per second and then analyzing them image by image. That's a very slow process. So I designed it in a manner that maybe at the end of the day, they could just copy this exe file into a folder with lots of images, like double click it, it'll run, and as you can see, it runs pretty slowly. But they could just like leave it alone, and even if it takes like 10 or 15 seconds per video, it's going to take, I don't know, 15 minutes. It might run for 15 minutes. There's like a several dozen videos, but it needs no user intervention. And after it's done counting, it will just generate this file that you can see here now that has come up, pulse.csv. It will generate a simple CSV file that has the counts and the beats of each individual video. I guess it's still working. Yes. So now this file has come up. So this is obviously not an ideal solution, because we've taken like a 7-member moving average. So our resolution is somewhat down to a quarter of a second. So if there's motion that happens faster than that, this is not going to capture it. And it works for videos that are captured pretty much the same way that these videos are, the same kind of. But they've been using it, and it has been using just fine. They do like a random sampling confirmation for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos every day, and so far it hasn't really thrown an error. But I do realize that this is a very hacky sort of a solution that works for with these exact constraints. And if the videos were very different, if the frame rate changed significantly, or the motion speeds were very high, this would not work. So currently I'm learning AI and machine learning, and after that I hope to like figure out a much more robust and much more more variable friendly solution to this problem. But this is something I recently enjoyed working on and was able to successfully complete.